Alright, it is actually 2024, but this video is going to be for 2025. This is the layout tour showing the layout in 2025. Now, house is a mess. That's my rounds room behind me, which is right now used for storage. It has been since we moved in here because we never got it set up. This is all our camping stuff. This is all stuff from when I was a scout. I can't remember if this was a prize. I think that's my mom's backpack. Mine is downstairs. This is my bag. This is also my backpack and duffel bag. You got a whole bunch of sleeping bags over there. Folding camp stools down there. And there's laundry here because there was stuff that I didn't feel like doing because I do my laundry by hand and I didn't feel like doing it by hand. So I'm in the upstairs hallway. There's the light that was not put in by us. That was here when we got here. The upstairs hallway is right now being used for storage, mainly. Here's my computer desk upside down there. And my room is, of course, used for storage, mainly, as well, because I don't sleep up here. But the layout is in my room and in the workshop, which also is a mess because it's got layout stuff all over and it's got stuff in it that we'd stored in it that I didn't get out. So let's flip the camera around and take a look at the layout, which I'm standing right in front of. Okay, now my messy room that I don't use as a bedroom. I sleep on the couch downstairs because I never got my bed set up. And Mom was using a mattress downstairs before her accident, so my room, I haven't really cared that much about doing anything with my room because it's a room to be in when I'm working on the layout, and that's about it, and I don't care otherwise. So here's my test track. It's 2 tracks. I did this so I could run locomotives back and forth, and I wanted to hook up my DC power pack to one track and the DCC to the other, and I just haven't gotten around to that. So right now, it's either one can be stuck onto here and onto the layout and used as a switching lead. I have another piece of flex track out here that I was actually using. I stuck it out on the end out there, and to get an extra 2 feet because there's 6 feet on this. But now with this extra length in the track, I don't need that extra room. Coming up this way, you're basically going north along the valley floor, along the Warsaw Valley, into the south end of the village of Warsaw, New York, and you get to this first switch, which is a Pico number 6 Unifrog, which is not in because I do not have rail joiners to connect these 2 tracks. There's also missing rail joiners down there, and I need another set for the little bit of extension off the end here, and then rail joiners to be able to connect this up so I can switch this industry, because there's no way you can switch this without something off the end. And what I'm going to do at some point is I'm going to build a little extension, and what I got to do first is I got to cut this a little bit because this is a little bit bigger than 4 feet. Either that or I made this module a little bit too small, but it's got to cut off that little bit so I can attach a fascia to the end of this, because I got to have fascias not only on this side, on the front and back, which one of them is going to be painted black with a BRMP logo on it, and the other one is going to be painted royal blue with B&O logos in the middle of each of the modules. The B&O logo there, and there, with BRMP there, and there, because there is no front, there is no back to this layout. You can look at it from either side, or you can work it from either side. It is 4 foot, basically 4 foot by 2.5 foot modules. that are actually quite light, despite the fact that they are made with 1x4s and 4 inches of foam, because I have to be able to cut down there where the creek is. But we'll get down to there. First is this switch, which goes into two businesses. We have New York Concrete Pipe, which is where the Apple Barrel Black is, and then we have over there is Embury Lantern. Also along the track, but not served by this track, is Marne Colton, Oregon, which is also this stand-in building here and where this spur is. That is where their cars were handled. There is still a platform on the building that still exists. This building still exists there. The Marne Colton that was over here is torn down. Embury Lantern is still there. It's now Fairview Paperbox Corporation, and New York Concrete Pipe is torn down. Upstate Door now is in this area, and that is the businesses owned by the guy who demolished the freight depot that is going to be modeled down there. That is the reason for this layout to be built. After this switch, which I believe I said is a Pico number 6 Unifrog, we come down a little straight section, we get to another number 6 Pico Unifrog. And that is the spur to Marne Colton. And that will hold, I'm going to guess, about four 40-foot cars, because this one can be pushed out farther. At the end of tracks, what I'm going to do for bumpers, I'm going to put like piles of ties. I'll get some, I'm going to get some materials for like scratch building track, some HO scale ties and HO scale rail. And the HO scale rail we put along the tracks for details and stuff like that, because you get pieces of rail that are laid along the tracks, and getting hand-laid track to do that is much simpler and much more cost efficient than cutting up flex track for pieces of rail. Then after that, we have a very tiny little short straight section before we get to another Pico number 6 Unifrog turnout, which goes down, and cars can be parked up to here on either track, and they will not interfere with the others. You just consider the fouling point to be the edge of the module, and you're good. I've tested this with other cars that will go into here and cars that are longer. I have not tested longer cars on this because they aren't going to get anything bigger than a coal hopper. But this track then curves around and goes over there where there'll be a coal trestle. There'll also be a barn and coal bins over there. This will be a building which I believe I was shown in, there's pictures of it in the community tab if you look back far enough. Now let's go around to the other side. Now we're over on the other side, looking back at that section. You can see Marne Colton here. We have our coal here. You can see you can roll this right up to there. And it does not interfere with that. You can put it right up to the end and it won't interfere. You can see right there is where it hits. I'm going to put some ties and stuff. I was actually going to put a pile of cinder ballast at the end of that, and I kind of scooped a little bit of it away. But you get a little messy here. I was actually going to make this deeper, like coal had been spilling from coal cars and stuff like that. But this is where a bridge is going to be over Owaka Creek. And the bridge was actually at quite an angle, so this is going to be cut away here. And I was going to leave this unscenic until I did the bridge. But Steve Brown is building a bridge, a larger bridge, on his layout. And he put the track in, and now he's building the bridge underneath it. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to cut it out underneath. I can use that with a utility, do that with a utility knife or razor blade, something. And you can cut out this foam for the creek along here underneath the bridge, and then I can build the bridge up from underneath because it's going to be a wooden bridge and I'm going to have to scratch build it, so I can build it piece by piece. Now I have my part of my self-defense here, tactical flashlight, 960,000 lumens. The creek goes along here. It's somewhere in here. There's so many lines here, I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to put it. I think I decided to put it right along here. And then I'll go over into that module. And the lines don't line up over there because I had to move things a bit. We have some of the power that we've acquired recently. But the power for the layout that is prototypical is sitting over there. Now here you can see this is awesome, more fresh ballast. I just did this. And it is now dry. And I did this, it took me about 3 minutes to do this section. It took me it took me about 15 to do this. I do not understand why people object so much to ballasting. It is the quickest and simplest part of scenery. What's going to be a little bit more tedious is the weeds that I'm actually going to put into here. Because if you walk a railroad bed now, and granted it's now, so the cinders aren't actively maintained, but you will see grass grows up through cinders. So you can put some green grass and kind of break up this monotony of black. And that's what I'm going to do. You're going to have some grass growing here and there and here. And I'm going to use the tweezers and glue put static grass down, like little clumps of grass are coming up there. So that'll kind of make it look less I don't know, make it look more realistic. We have this, which was the first bit of cinder ballast I put down yesterday. And I did all this work. I did this and getting the tracks laid out and stuff and the cinders and stuff like that all on December 30th, which a few hours ago right now, but it was actually yesterday. Then after the coal is the next industry, which is the largest industry in the layout. Well, it is the largest in size because it takes up an entire module or an entire section. But it is not the biggest in traffic. And this is the Warsaw Elevator Factory. We have Allen Street here, and this entire area from Allen Street all the way over to where that building is, and that building over there is all Warsaw Elevator. And there's a foundry there, which actually was separate as well, but it also was part of Warsaw Elevator. And this is a boiler house. Then there was scrap and sand sheds, and then there's the foundry, and then there's the casting shop over there, which unfortunately I have to make smaller than it should be. Or I have to move the track over a little bit, which I could move that track back. I have not painted black under there yet because I'm not exactly sure what I want to do there, because they unloaded coal and they unloaded coke on that track, but I'm not quite sure how they did it because as far as I know, there was no type of trestle or anything underneath it. And I tried to find pictures of it, and I can't find pictures of it, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that right now. So that's going to be one of the last places done. I'll be able to build the structures and stuff like that, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. And then the last business, which we'll pause and go over there. The last is the Warsaw Freight Depot, and this was torn down in December of over Christmas of 2020. This is the busiest area in the layout because this serves a bakery, it serves lumber yard, it serves farm machinery dealers. It does not serve car dealers. I've not heard of any automobiles being received through here. Although there supposedly was a freight ramp on this end of the freight depot, which if there were automobiles shipped here, they would have been delivered right to here and they've been driven down that ramp because they can't go on that ramp because that's an end ramp that goes up this way and then over to around the side here. And this is actually buried in cinder ballast. Fully buried. That is to make it be a driveway where you can drive across it with minimal damage to your vehicle. All three of these tracks are the freight depot, which is what makes it the busiest, because as you can see, they have 3 boxcars in each of those tracks, which those tracks can actually hold 5 40-foot boxcars. Right now they got a 50-foot on each of them and 2 40-footers. And then this track can hold, right now it's got 2 50-foot flat cars. Or maybe those are 40-footers. 4 40-foot box cars and a 50-foot box car. Right now, this is the only one that has feeders actually connected to it. You can see them right here, right across there. And only one of those is actually powering the layout. Over here, we have the prototype power, which is a USRA 060 made by Bachmann with TCS WOW sound. And then we have a broadly limited SD7 with an NCE DCC sound decoder. I've been using this one, but I put this one on the track to film a video. So that is it for the 2025 layout tour of the Warsaw Industrial Branch. Quite a long video for a small layout, but from CP Silver Springs, Milepost 368 in the Hook Southern Cylinder Line, keeping loving trains, Tim out.